somewhere right now. There's a trader sitting alone in front of a chart, wondering if they're slowly wasting years of their life. Nobody around them understands what they're trying to do. Their family thinks trading is gambling. Their friends think they're chasing internet fantasies. And honestly, after enough losses, even they start questioning themselves. Because trading is one of the loneliest journeys a person can go through. You wake up motivated. You study for hours. You try to stay disciplined. You tell yourself this time will be different. And then one emotional mistake destroys everything again. One revenge trade. One impulsive entry. One moment of greed. And suddenly, all the confidence disappears. That emotional cycle silently destroys millions of traders every year. But here's the painful truth nobody tells beginners. The market is not just testing your strategy. It's testing your emotional maturity. And most people enter trading completely unprepared for that reality. Most people say they entered trading for freedom. But honestly, many people enter trading because they're emotionally tired of life, tired of struggling financially, tired of feeling behind, tired of watching other people succeed while they feel stuck. Trading becomes hope, a chance to finally change everything. And that emotional hope is powerful, but it's also dangerous. Because when trading becomes emotionally attached to your self-worth, losses start feeling personal. Now every losing trade feels bigger than money. It feels like failure. Failure as a person. Failure as someone trying to escape an ordinary life. That emotional pressure becomes heavy. Very heavy. And most beginners carry it silently. The internet completely distorts what trading actually looks like. Online, trading looks fast, easy, exciting. People post luxury cars, massive profits, perfect entries. But nobody records the emotional breakdowns. Nobody records the anxiety after blowing an account. Nobody records the nights staring at the ceiling wondering if they're becoming delusional, chasing financial freedom through charts. And because beginners constantly consume unrealistic content, their expectations become completely broken. They think, if I'm not profitable quickly, something is wrong with me. But real trading growth is usually slow, painfully slow. And that gap between expectation and reality destroys motivation. Most traders think the market is their enemy. It's not. The real enemy is emotional inconsistency. One day discipline exists. The next day emotions take control. One day risk management matters. The next day greed destroys everything. And slowly, many traders realize something uncomfortable. Their biggest losses usually didn't come from bad strategies. They came from emotional decisions, over-leveraging, revenge trading, moving stop losses, refusing to accept losses, trying to force the market to validate them emotionally. And that's when trading becomes dangerous, because now the trader is no longer reacting logically. They're reacting emotionally, and emotional trading almost always ends badly. There's usually one moment that changes traders forever, not externally, internally. A moment where they finally get emotionally exhausted from chaos, exhausted from gambling behavior, exhausted from constantly chasing dopamine, exhausted from trying to become rich overnight. And eventually, they start simplifying everything. Less trades, less risk, less emotional attachment, more patience, more structure, more discipline. And strangely, that's when progress often begins. Not because they suddenly found a magical strategy, but because they finally stopped sabotaging themselves emotionally. That's the lesson most people never understand. A strategy cannot save someone who cannot control themselves. One of the hardest truths about trading is realizing the market doesn't care how badly you want success. It doesn't reward desperation. It doesn't reward ego. It doesn't reward excitement. It rewards consistency, calmness, patience, emotional control. And the traders who eventually survive long enough to become profitable usually become different people mentally, more disciplined, more self-aware, more emotionally stable, because trading forces you to confront parts of yourself normal jobs never expose. Your impulsiveness, your greed, your fear, your ego, your inability to stay patient. That's why trading changes people psychologically. And honestly, that's why so many people quit. Not because the market is impossible, but because mastering yourself is much harder than mastering charts. So if you're currently struggling in trading, understand something important. You are not alone, and you are not automatically failing because you're losing right now. Most traders lose before they learn emotional discipline. That phase is extremely common. But eventually, some traders make a critical decision. They stop chasing shortcuts. They stop trying to impress people online. They stop treating trading like emotional entertainment. and they finally start treating it like a skill that requires patience, maturity, and self-control. That's when transformation begins. Quietly, slowly, but genuinely. Because at the highest level, trading is not really about predicting the market. It's about mastering your reactions while the market moves. And honestly, that lesson becomes valuable far beyond trading itself. If this video genuinely helped you think differently, subscribe. Because this channel is not about fake luxury or selling impossible dreams. It's about understanding the psychology, discipline, and reality behind surviving in the markets long term. And trust me, that knowledge is far more valuable than most beginners realize.